They will now enjoy the same monthly concession pass prices as those in secondary school, junior college and institutes of technical education. This means that prices for polytechnic monthly concession passes will be slashed by between 44 and 47%. And more good news is the cap of 4 train trips per day has also been lifted, which means that they get to take an unlimited number of rides.
I've always been paying the $55 bus concession, and since it's going to be cut like half, I could actually be like, that amount, that $55 could have been spent on like 2 months worth of transport. So yeah, it goes in a long way, like saving a lot of money.
It would save me about half of about 20% of my allowance.
I mean, it's a good thing. It shows that poly students are treated fairly compared to JC students, IT students, and we are students also.
And member of the Transport Government Parliamentary Committee, Janil Puthucheary, is still here with me. So Janil, a lot of happy polytechnic students there. It took quite a long time for this to be implemented. Why did it take so long?
Well, I don't have the answer to that. That's a difficult question. People have been asking for it for some time. It seems an entirely reasonable step. I think whenever any concession is made, it has to be in the context of the system as a whole. So yes, there was one user who said she liked the idea of the polytechnic students getting the concessions, but she didn't like the fare hike. Well, the truth is the two are linked. I mean, the fare hike makes the system viable, makes it sustainable, and it allows for more concessions to be made, and this is the process that we need to engage with.
Right, so there are always trade-offs.
There has to be.
Let's talk about the new adult concession passes, $120 per month, and the estimation is that about 40,000 to 60,000 people will take it up. What's your sense? Will there be a wide take-up rate?
Well, it's very hard to predict this. I think there should be. It's a great product. I mean, it's a great pass, $120, unlimited travel on public transport. If you're already a public transport user, this is a good thing to have in your pocket. If you're not, what this does, it sort of shifts the balance about making the decision to move from private transport to public transport in terms of affordability. So I think this is a good step.
It does sound like a good incentive, but who would be the target demographic for those concession passes? Would you say those who travel very frequently, and how would you define people who travel very often?
Well, I mean, you can, from the math, $120 a month, this is not going to be someone who takes a train to work in the morning and takes a train back at the end of the day. It's unlikely that most of people who fall in that category would benefit a lot from this type of pass. These might be more targeted towards people whose jobs require them to travel within the town or within the city for the day. So I have residents who say, I have to have a car because I've got to move from one client to the other. I've got 3 or 4 different places to be in a day. So maybe this is something that they could think about, that this is an alternative to having that car, that they could use public transport as a way of making their work.
That makes sense. Let's talk about children under the age of 7 now travel for free. So essentially the height restriction has been removed. Was this a necessary move, you think? Well,
absolutely. Wearing my other professional hat, children are getting taller at a younger age just because they're getting healthier. And so you had the problem where children were below the age cutoff to go into primary school, but were over the height cutoff. So the below 0.9 meter cutoff still stands. If they're short enough, nobody's going to even worry about it. It's just now if you're taller than that, but still below the age of 7, you will also travel free. So the restriction of for those children who are higher than 0.9 meters but younger than 7 has been removed. So if you're younger than 7, regardless of your height, you'll be having free travel.
Okay, so Janil, one last question for you. Looking at everything as a whole, do you think that the changes have been fair, and what do you think could perhaps need further improvement down the road?
Well, I think the changes as a whole, there's a few striking things. One is the broadening of the base of the concession. So the number of people that will have a concessionary fare has become broader. But the other thing that the package has done is it's introduced some ideas of unlimited travel. In several categories, the caps of 4 MRT train rides a day and so forth have all been removed. So it's really signaling a shift of making public transport an integral part of decision making rather than private transport. It's changing the thinking about how this should be encouraged. Rather than trying to reduce consumption, it's trying to shift behavior, and I think that's a very good step in terms of how we see public transport.
All right, thank you very much for coming in, Janil. It's great speaking to you.
Thank you very much.